In this video, we are going to take a look at the very basics, how to get started with a Deathwatch army. First, we will quickly look at what rulebooks are required and what else can be helpful. Second, we will go through a couple of box deals and see how well they can be used for a Deathwatch army. After that, we will also look at what additional units can be useful after you have started with an initial package deal and wish to keep building up your army.
Welcome to SwissHammer, your channel for modeling in Warhammer 40k. Here you will find tools and guides as versatile as a Swiss army knife to help you build your army. My name is Temmer and I will be guiding you through this video. In case you end up liking this content, please feel free to subscribe. With that out of the way, let's get started.
Warhammer 40k is quite heavy on the rules, and as such there are a minimum number of rulebooks required in order to be able to play the game. These include the Warhammer 40k 9th edition core rulebook, the Space Marine Codex, as well as the Deathwatch supplement. Basically, the Deathwatch supplement is only an extension of the Space Marine Codex, and for a variety of datasheets, stratagems, and so on, you will need to dig through the actual Space Marine Codex in addition to the Deathwatch one. What is also important to know is that there is a Warhammer FAQ page where revisions of the codexes are released from time to time. For both the Space Marine Codex as well as the Deathwatch supplement, FAQs have been released to the state that supersede certain elements such as points for units or specialisms. The good thing is that these FAQs are always available for free on the website. With rulebooks out of the way, let's have a look at the actual models. Before we continue, a quick note on the prices. Whenever I'm mentioning any numbers in this video, I'm referring to the rest of the world pricing in US dollar found on the official GW webstore. Being Swiss, this no doubt means that I'm getting overcharged, as it always happens. So these prices may differ depending on where you are and what local stores you have available. Nevertheless, they just act as a reference point for the purposes of this video. Now, we cannot get this started without first mentioning the cornerstone of every Deathwatch army, the Deathwatch upgrade frame. You will no doubt start to both love and hate this one, as it will be your best source of the unique left shoulder pads of the Deathwatch. It was originally created for the classic Firstborn Marines and comes with 10 regular shoulder pads, 2 Terminator pads, 1 chest plate, 2 helmets, 1 power sword, and 3 icons. The good news is that the shoulder pads can also be used on Primaris models, with the regular ones fitting the Tacticus or Phobos armor, while the Terminator one can be used for Gravis models and certain special HQ. With the popularity of Gravis models, this can become quite tiresome though, as 2 shoulder pads per frame isn't exactly much. There are also alternative sources for getting similar looking pads. I will leave it at that. The Deathwatch upgrade frame aside, it can also be useful to have frames from different chapters, which will help with making your models look more unique. When recruited to the Deathwatch, a Space Marine will move their original chapter pauldron to the right shoulder. This goes well with the other chapters' upgrade frames, as they usually contain plenty of shoulder pads. So let's have a look at the first box, the Combat Patrol Deathwatch. I have to say that this one is a bit of an oddball. One would think that a combat patrol dedicated to the Deathwatch would be the obvious pick, but I think GW has dropped the ball on this one. While the 2 upgrade frames and the apothecary are excellent, the rest of the box leaves much to be desired. The main trademark of the Deathwatch are kill teams, and these always require a minimum of 5 of a certain unit. Therefore, including 10 intercessors is average at best, as you only need 5 for a kill team. Now, you could of course aim for 2 for these kill teams, but then you would need like 10 outriders, which is ridiculous for starters, or 10 rather average hellblasters. In either case, I don't think that this is where you want to go when freshly starting your army. Along the same lines, aggressors are still decent, but if you wanted to make an Indomitus kill team, you would need heavy intercessors, which are not even out yet. Sure, you can run the aggressors as they are, but you can do that with any Space Marine army, so why would they be in a Deathwatch Combat Patrol box? The Lieutenant is even worse, as Deathwatch gets a multitude of wound rerolls that make this HQ choice less desirable than in other armies. If you really wanted a Lieutenant, the one from the Indomitus box with the Storm Shield would be preferable. I will get to that one later on. So all in all, I think the Combat Patrol Deathwatch is quite a bad pick for starting a Deathwatch army. The second box we are looking into is the Combat Patrol Dark Angels. This one has just freshly come out for pre-order and to me looks like a potential new winner for the Combat Patrols. Dreadnoughts are in an excellent position in 9th edition, and the Redemptor certainly counts among the top ones from the regular codex. Furthermore, 5 intercessors is a good amount to get started on what can later become a 40 kill team. I do also like the Inceptors, as they remain strong even after the January points increase, and will be a staple for the Indomitus kill team once heavy intercessors finally become available. For now, unless you are kit bashing your own heavy intercessors, already having these 3 Inceptors to run as their own squad is perfectly fine. As previously mentioned, having upgrade frames from different chapters is also fine. Last and certainly least in this particular box, I'm not overly fond of the Footstogging Primaris Chaplain, as I think pretty much any other version is preferable over this one, but having a chaplain as such is great, and this one could be converted to serve as one of the other versions. The third box we are looking into is the Combat Patrol Blood Angels. Prior to the Dark Angels Combat Patrol, this one has been my personal favorite and an incredibly positive surprise back when it came out. Deathwatch Librarian powers got a massive boost with the new supplement, and having one is excellent these days. Also, with 5 intercessors and 5 infiltrators, this box is providing the perfect entry for starting both a Fortis and a Spectre's kill team. A squad of infiltrators is also great to just run on their own because of their deep strike denial ability. Again, as with the Dark Angels box, having upgrade frames from different chapters is not a bad thing. The aggressors are decent, though I think I would prefer having the Inceptors from the Dark Angels box instead. While perhaps having fallen a bit out of fashion, the Impulsor is still a valid pick for transporting slow units, such as Blade Guard veterans, in case you are planning on getting some of these. Between this and the Dark Angels Combat Patrol, I find it hard to pick an overall winner, I would say it depends a little in what direction you plan on going with your army. Now let's move on to the start collecting Vanguard Space Marines. This is the one box I wish I had done my research on before, and I regret not having bought it back in the days when I started with my Phobos units for a Spectre's kill team. Basically, this box is priced so nicely that purchasing the 2 infiltrators at $60 and 3 eliminators at $50 will already put you over the total amount of this start collecting box, meaning you get the somewhat mediocre lieutenant and the suppressors for free. Also, this is currently the only way to even get the suppressors. While they might not be all that great at the moment, it can still be nice to have them for the collection. As I said, had I known about the excellent price of this box, I would have never bought infiltrators and eliminators on their own, which is what I ended up doing because I wanted those for the excellent Spectre's kill team. Then finally a classic, the Indomitus box, or rather the Space Marine half of it. From what I have seen, local stores still seem to have a good stock of those, or there might even be Necron players selling the Space Marine half of it. All in all, Indomitus has brought a series of strong Primaris units that generally perform well in Space Marine armies, including the Deathwatch. While this box is not strictly aimed at building kill teams, it can be great to have these units alongside one of the combat patrol boxes, or just in general to start a new army and learn how Deathwatch plays in general before digging deeper into the kill teams. Both the captain and the lieutenant are unique choices in their category with their storm shields. For Deathwatch, it also means that you can put the Dominus Aegis relic on either of them. The lieutenant can also be easily proxied as an additional Blade Guard veteran. Eradicators and Blade Guard veterans are strong, popular units, and especially the Eradicators are great to have for building an Indomitor kill team once the heavy intercessors become available. When running Blade Guard veterans, having the Judiciary along as a support character is a great combo. All in all, when doing some conversion work, you can get up to 5 Blade Guard veterans out of this box through the Lieutenant as well as the Ancient. Furthermore, I rated the Outriders as average only in this box, as I think that after the recent points increase, running them on their own in a unit of 3 is not that great for Deathwatch. If anything, they can still be put to use in a 40 skill team, but for that you would need the Intercessors and additional Outriders, which can be quite a pricey investment as a beginner. As with the Blood Angels Combat Patrol, I'm not a huge fan of the foot-slogging chaplain, but with the parts in this box, I think it's possible to create a chaplain on bike and a librarian between the parts from the chaplain and one outrider. In this case, both of these picks become good. A bit of a downside are the assault intercessors, which I think perform better in other chapters overall. Nevertheless, with a bit of spare parts and extra work, these can be converted to regular intercessors with more dynamic poses. Especially in combination with one of the combat patrols, there should be a bunch of spare bolt rifles to help with the conversion. So far, all these boxes have been about primary Space Marines, so it's time to look at what is still available for our beloved Firstborns. If you can still get your hands on it, the old Start Collecting Deathwatch is the hidden gem among all of these. It contains 10 Deathwatch veterans, with a lot of weapon options. Captain Artemis, a venerable dreadnought, and Deathwatch upgrade frames. All of these are excellent picks, and Deathwatch is certainly one of those armies that can still make Firstborn's work. Get your hands on this one while you still can, as it currently looks like it has been replaced by the more than underwhelming Combat Patrol box. In case the old Start Collecting is unavailable, or you're looking for even more Deathwatch veterans, there is of course still the Deathwatch Killteam box with the 5 veterans and a variety of weapons. Basically, the Start Collecting box contains 2 of these kits. The loadouts are the exact same. In combination with the Deathwatch veterans, the Vanguard veteran box is also an excellent pick, as both Deathwatch veterans and Vanguard veterans can form the Proteus kill team. Or you might simply be looking for more close combat weapons and storm shields. A third possible competitor is the Sternguard veteran box, as it contains a bunch of combi weapons, and the Space Marines have the veteran kind of look to them that makes the parts great for kit bashing and tweaking your Deathwatch veterans further. Beyond that, there are a variety of ways to extend your Deathwatch army further. Of special note is the Watchmaster, which is basically the Chapter Master equivalent for the Deathwatch, and the only way to get access to the Chapter Master kind of rerolls. In general, it is a good idea to build around the different kill teams and buy additional units that fit into those. For more details about what kind of combinations are available for each kill team, feel free to check out my Kill Team series, which I have linked in the description. While the new releases are often focused around the primary Space Marines, Deathwatch is the kind of army that can also make the Firstborn work. As a rule of thumb, the good Space Marine units can also be put to use in the Deathwatch. One prominent example are the ones that got introduced with the Indomitus box. Last but not least, Dreadnoughts are in a very good spot in 9th edition, and Dreadnought heavy lists also work well in a Deathwatch army, especially when combined with a Primaris Tech Marine using the Artificial Bolt Cache relic. In summary, in order to play a Deathwatch army, both the Space Marine Codex as well as the Deathwatch supplement are required. As of today, there have also been additional FAQs released for both books that contain some important changes. Surprisingly enough, both the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels Combat Patrol seem to be a better fit for starting a Deathwatch army than the dedicated Combat Patrol that the Deathwatch got. In general, the Space Marine half of the Indomitus box has excellent units to extend the army past the Combat Patrol. If you're planning to run a Spectre's kill team, the Vanguard Space Marine box comes at an excellent price. Don't be like me and miss out on that one. Primary Space Marines aside, Deathwatch is the kind of army that can also make the Firstborn work. The old Start Collecting Deathwatch box is an excellent pick, but it might be difficult to still find it these days. As a rule of thumb, what works well for other Space Marine armies also works well for the Deathwatch. So that's it for getting started. What kind of box deals have you guys picked up so far? Are there any good ones I have not considered? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have been enjoying this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again, and see you next time.